Hey, it's Joshua, room 15, still in the security wing. Last room we made every key small. This room accepts the thing that keeps security people awake at night. No lock you build is perfect. Every wall you raise can come down. So the real question is not, how do I build the one perfect wall? It is, what happens on the day my wall fails?
Picture two ways to protect the rare manuscripts vault. The first is a single, magnificent, unpickable lock on the door, the finest money can buy. The second is a decent lock on the door, and then an inner gate, and a guard who checks names, and a safe behind that, and the manuscripts themselves, each one sealed in its own case. The first one feels stronger, the single perfect lock. It is not. And the reason is a property so quiet it is easy to miss entirely. The day someone does get past that one lock, and someday someone will, they are standing in the vault with everything. One success, total loss. This is still the security wing. The last room shrank what each key can open. This room accepts what that room ended on. A defense will fail, so you never stake the whole building on a single one. So hold the layered vault in your mind. A thief picks the front lock, feeling clever, and walks straight into an inner gate he never expected. He slips the gate and the guard asks for a name he does not have. He talks past the guard and the safe is still locked. He cracks the safe and every manuscript is sealed in a case of its own. No single failure was ever a breach. Here is exactly why one perfect lock is a trap. Every lock can fail. It can be picked or copied, a key can leak, that was the whole last room, or it has a flaw nobody knew was there. A single line of defense is a single point of total failure. Beat it one time and you win the entire game. Nothing behind it is even watching. And you cannot make any one control perfect. So betting the vault on one lock is betting the vault on a thing you already know will eventually break. So you stack independent layers, and the real trick is that you make them different in kind. A lock and a second lock is not much. The same skill that beats the first beats the second. But a lock and a guard who checks identity and a sealed safe and encrypted contents, those all fail for completely different reasons. Beating one tells the attacker nothing about the next. That is defense in depth. Many independent controls, layered so a breach demands defeating all of them, and no single failure is fatal. It is the same lesson as the resilience wing, the breaker, and the bulkhead, wearing different clothes. One part fails, the whole must not fall with it. Here's the keeper. Never rely on a single line of defense. Layer independent controls of different kinds, so one of them failing is not a breach, and an attacker has to beat every wall, not only the outer one. Because any single defense will eventually fail. The only safe assumption is that it already has, and the next layer is the one that saves you. The labels are the stickers. Defense in depth, layered security, no single point of failure. In the cloud, the layers are concrete. Security groups at the instance, network access control lists at the subnet, a web firewall at the edge, IAM on every call, and encryption under all of it. Different controls, different layers, failing for different reasons. Two security postures. One strong wall, a hardened perimeter, and soft everything inside. It reads beautifully on paper, right up until the day it does not. Once an attacker is in, they own the place. The worst breaches all rhyme. They got through the firewall and then moved freely. Layered, a perimeter, and identity checks on every internal call, and encryption and segmentation. Now getting in is the start of the attacker's problems, not the end. You never trust the inside, just because something cleared the outside. So the exam says, secure a multi-tier web application. The weak answer names one control. The strong answer layers them. A web firewall at the edge. Security groups, so the web tier may talk to the app tier, but the database is reachable only from the app tier. Then IAM roles for each service and encryption throughout. Any question where one option is just put it behind a firewall is testing whether you will stop at a single wall. The strongest answer almost always combines controls at different layers.
Your turn. Out loud or just in your head. I'll wait. A team secures their database by putting it behind one strict perimeter firewall and declares victory. Nothing can reach it from outside, they say. A few months later, a single compromised app server, already inside the perimeter, reads the entire database freely. What principle did they miss? And name one inner layer that would have helped.
Defense in depth. They bet everything on one wall, the perimeter. The moment the attacker was inside it, there was nothing left to stop him. The inside trusted the inside. An inner layer that helps. A security group that lets only the app tier reach the database, not everything on the network. Plus identity on the call and encryption at rest, so a single foothold is not an instant jackpot. One lock is never enough. So, small keys and many layers. But notice a question we keep circling without quite naming it. What should even be reachable in the first place? The vault does not sit in the public lobby. Most of your system has no business facing the open street at all. The next room draws the line between the lobby anyone may enter and the back rooms that should never face the sidewalk. One breath to seal it. Any single defense will eventually fail, so you never stake everything on one. Layer independent controls of different kinds. A breach should mean beating all of them, and no one failure should ever be fatal. One magnificent lock is one magnificent single point of failure.
That is defense in depth, the quiet humility of never trusting a single wall. 15 rooms down. I'm Joshua. I'll see you in the next one.